Hey guys, so this is my first ever YouTube video and I am in PJs. So I'm gonna be doing this brow to show you how to get the perfect defined brow. Obviously I'm only gonna be doing this one because I've not waxed this one yet, so that's the difference in just waxing my brows. Excuse my lips, they are still a little bit bruised, but it's alright I suppose. So I'm going to use the Revlon double-ended brush. You can get these on Amazon. I'm going to use the angled end. I'm also going to use the NYX, which I know some people call NYX, but for me it's NYX, in shade Espresso. And I'm just going to put the smallest bit on the back of my hand. Okay, that's too much. That's enough for 2 brows, but cool. So, to start off, I'm going to use the NYX Micro Pencil in Espresso. So the same shade as my gel. And then I'm going to go in just by really lightly making the shape I want with my brows. Still want to keep them quite similar. I sometimes do like to wax my brows quite small, so then that way I can draw them on even bigger if I want to, or small. That way I've got an option. So now I've got a basic outline of the tail, because the tail is the lightest point of my brows. So then I'm going to get the gel on both sides of my brush. You want to make sure this brush is nice and sharp as well. Then you want to go over, so starting from the middle, I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. So I always start with brows and eyes first, and then I go on to do my base. And I've always found that this is a lot easier rather than doing my base and then doing my brows. I do have a tiny bit of tan on, and another thing as well is I like to make sure that my concealer is a little bit lighter than my skin tone, so it gives my eyes a more of a effective look. So I'm just going to draw on the tail. I don't be too precise when drawing on my brows, because when I go around them with concealer, that'll fill it all in and make them look more defined. I always go around my brows with concealer. So you want to make sure it's all blended in, but you don't want to put any, or if not, just a small amount of product at the ends. So at the moment, the brow is looking quite crazy. So then you want to go in with the EcoTools flat brush. This is a really thin brush, and my dupe for MAC Select Cover Up Concealer is the NIP+FAB concealer in 05. This is the lightest shade that they actually do, and it is one of the best concealers I have ever come across for the price as well, which is just under £9. It is totally worth it. So I'm going to get that once again on both sides of my brush, making sure the brush is really sharp, like this. And then I'm going to start from the front, and I'm going to define the brows just by going around them. Then round the top. I always go around the top of my brows because that gives the top a lot more definition as well. this is how I do my brows on myself and also my clients. So I do like to be quite precise with my brows. And just go over the front again. So as you can see, the concealer is quite similar to the MAC Select Cover Up Concealer. It's quite a thick full coverage concealer. And I'll just pull this bit down. You don't want to make any lines. You don't want to make a mask whilst doing it, because when it comes around to applying your foundation, you don't want to be able to see these concealer lines. So I'm going to go back over the top bit again. And then one more time underneath. Just go over the front and bring it round. So you want to pour this concealer down as you go along, because it does dry pretty quick. So that is the difference in the brows. It actually changes your face quite a lot as well. So then what I'd usually do is I'd usually get my little Real Techniques brush, which the name's rubbed off. Oh, this is a base shadow brush. And I'm literally just going to put the concealer all over my lids. So this is the concealer that I use as a base for my eyeshadow too, because it's so thick and it dries lovely, so you don't even need to set it. I never ever set my concealer on my lids, as I found when I did do that, my eyeshadow didn't blend as nice. And then what you want to do is you just want to lightly blend around the top. Because then that way when it comes around to putting your foundation on, you're not going to have any marks. Then, to finish off that, I'll use the MAC Vanilla Pigment, which comes in a little empty pot, like this. And I'm just going to get some on my brush, if my brush will actually pick it up, that is. And I just put a bit of that underneath. Underneath my brow arch, and just bring it down a little bit too. And that way you have a very defined brow, and that was in the space of like 5 minutes. So that is the difference, and you can see the difference in the concealer as well, and that is the difference, and it really does make a difference by defining your brows. So thank you all, and I will be back with more videos. So thank you, and I will see you all soon.